All right. Other big news over the weekend. Ben Roethlisberger is getting roasted alive by everybody because on his latest episode of the Footballin' podcast, he went off on, he didn't go off. He made his thoughts known on Lamar Jackson. I think they were a little honest, a little too honest, maybe, saying that Lamar Jackson is more of you do not fear Lamar Jackson in the pocket. That was the big quote that got taken away. The whole grand text of it was, you fear him as a runner. You don't necessarily fear him as a passer. He did also mention that the Ravens do not have anybody, and he thinks that OBJ helps that situation. But he said that, like, if you're a team facing Lamar, you're moving the safeties down because you're not really worried about him throwing the football. RG3 and everybody else came back at it, like tossing the pocket numbers out there and be like, Lamar Jackson's a better quarterback, blah, 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 blah. You have thoughts on this? You think anybody's in the wrong here? Or you just look at this and go, this is complete nonsense. It's just because it's Ben.
Yeah, I walk away more on that side of it. Like, we're only talking about this because it's Ben Roethlisberger. Like, this is not a new take. This has been said a million times over by a million different people.
Yep.
I do think it's kind of dumb. Like, I don't know, if you don't respect Lamar Jackson as a passer, I feel like that's on you. And it was pretty funny when they were, I don't know, you could compare like the quarterback rating or whatever. I forget what stat they used.
Yeah, it was the QBR in the pocket or something.
Yeah, and Lamar's is better than Ben's. I don't know. That was just pretty funny to me. And like Ben wasn't comparing Lamar to himself, but it's still funny to see that stuff. Like,
yeah.
But yeah, this is like not anything new, and I don't think Ben was actually like, the headline obviously grabs attention. Like, it's Ben calling out a guy he played against for so long, and it's Steelers Ravens, and it's Lamar, and it's there's a lot going on, but like, in reality, like, Ben was just like, he's a better runner than he is a passer, and I don't know if that's a completely unreasonable take. And
no,
I think the point he made about like, oh yeah, the Ravens have no receivers that make Lamar better and that make you even more scared of his abilities as a passer, which I don't think is that off base either.
No, I thought that. So, like, Ben's always got a way with his words that make you think that he's like, talking some shit, but I think that it was all genuine. I think that he was like just genuinely saying this guy is an athletic freak who has never really shown us that he's an all pro passer, which he hasn't. Like, Lamar's always been the dude that we know he's got a rocket of an arm, but when you have nobody to throw the football to, you're not going to throw the football. So you just look at Lamar as like a deadly athlete, and that's really all he is. And I think everybody agrees with that, and then you got people like RG, don't tear him down. Okay, well, go look at what your ESPN outlet tweeted out and see the quote that they used instead of the the entire context. Like, go look at what PFF tweeted out or this guy tweeted out or whatever. Like, even us, and people call us out on our nonsense all the time, but even our headline was just like, Ben Roethlisberger has very honest thoughts on Lamar Jackson. Everybody else was like, Ben Roethlisberger calls out Lamar Jackson, just totally rips him apart. I'm like, it really wasn't Ben. Like, and I'm not a Ben defender, but I don't think Ben did like anything wrong here. I think he just gave his thoughts on something that we all kind of agree with, and like, don't use it to tear it down. You don't think that the Baltimore Ravens are sitting in that negotiation table saying, hey, buddy, like, you're a runner, you're not a thrower. We all know that. We'd like you to be a thrower, but you don't have anybody to throw the ball to. And you don't think that was brought up? Like, it was definitely brought up if you're not guaranteeing him $200 million. So you didn't just ignore that fact.
Right.
I don't know. I don't think that. I think it was a little nonsense. I think it definitely was.
Yeah, it was definitely some off season. Like, we have nothing else to talk about. So here's what we are going to talk about.
And this is what it is. Yeah. And I, if anything, props to Ben for waiting this long to say anything, because if he said something a month ago or 2 months ago, it would have exploded and went through all this nonsense. But the fact that you waited until 2 weeks before the draft and just said, hey, these are my thoughts on this. It is what it is. I mean, I just assuming who Ben is, covering Ben for 3 seasons. Yeah, that's just, I would have expected something different. And I'm proud to see that he didn't blow it up, didn't respond. I'm sure he'll respond in his next podcast, but I don't know. I thought it was very mild compared to what it could have been 100%.